You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Okay, so the other day I made a video where we were talking about the fact that Pat McAfee, it was Aaron Rodgers Tuesday on Pat McAfee. Of course, his show is now on ESPN. It's on YouTube. It's on ESPN Plus. And during Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, the subject of Halloween costumes came up. And, hey, Aaron Rodgers, what are you going to be for Halloween? And the one thing that all of us has kind of been watching for, because let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers is not shy about sharing his feelings about vaccines or RFK Jr. or, any of the things, challenging Travis Kelce to a debate along with Anthony Fauci. All the things that you would assume would piss woke ESPN off very much, right? We remember all the drama around Sage Steele to the point that Sage had to launch a lawsuit against Disney over her right to be able to say what she wanted to say, blah, blah, blah. She's now gone over at Disney. So we've been sitting back, we've been watching. Is ESPN going to censor Pat McAfee? We know Pat McAfee's always been really open, honest, whatever flies right out of his mouth. He has acknowledged that they've got him on a delay over the F-bomb, but he claims that everything else is just the same. Well, he has addressed rumors of ESPN having cut the feed the other day during Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, in which the vaccine came up again. And because he said he was, and it was hilarious, said he was going to dress up as spiked protein. And of course, that's got to do with Moderna and the vaccine and all that. And I still don't know if that's Orca or if that's Jaws that Pat McAfee's dressed up at. AJ Hawk is Edward Scissorhands. But that's a side note. This is what happened the other day during Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
I had my costume on last night, but
what was it?
What was it today? I apologize.
Ouch.
What was it?
A vaccine? A doctor? A scientist?
It was a spike protein.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, and so in case you're wondering, the feed goes black. It gets cut out. And everybody went, oh, crap, ESPN has had enough with Aaron Rodgers talking about the vaccine. And Aaron Rodgers has been very vocal about the fact that just because Pat McAfee's show is on ESPN, he's not going to hold back, all right? And McAfee, if he's telling the truth here, which I probably think he is, he's saying he has not put any restrictions on what it is that Aaron Rodgers can actually say on this show. Now, if you want to believe that, I don't know, but it was addressed, and it was addressed because J.J. Watt, the future Hall of Famer, former Houston Texans great, brought it up during the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and it was addressed about whether or not they cut the feed. ESPN, that is, the mothership. So, let's check this out.
Listen, we're not talking about Roger Goodell's history of punishing players. We're not doing this. We're not doing all this stuff. It's like, for us, thus far, it has been everything that they said it was going to be. Like, go ahead. I think it's potentially agents telling people that go on TV what they're supposed to say, what they're not supposed to say. Let's stay away from this, as opposed to the networks. I think the networks have gotten blamed for a long time. I don't believe it's necessarily the networks, but it might be the network telling the agents.
Didn't your feed cut out at a certain time yesterday? Didn't your feed cut out at like a very specific moment
provider.
Yesterday?
That's fake news.
Uh-oh.
Don't listen to everything ML Football says on the internet. You can't do that. That was only one provider, but Aaron did text me. He was like, Heard we got cut off.
They cut me off?
Yeah.
Heard we got cut off.
What's that about?
Heard we got cut off.
They censoring me? Big Brother? 1984? What's going on, guys?
They scared the 4-time MVP hippie guy saying some stuff. Oh, must have hit too close to home. That was how I was like, we've been told that it was only one provider, and we don't know if it was one Connor Stallion's rogue agent.
Could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
Had that provider, kind of hitting it, or if it was just technical difficulties at the exact same time. But it was not ESPN, from what I've been told. Let's move.
Okay. From what he's been told, it was not ESPN. He threw a little Michigan shade in there, too, by the way, in their controversy. He was told it was only one provider that cut the feed. The question is, why was the feed cut by the one provider? I mean, that would be great, and I'd love to find out who the provider was, because I'd throw them under the bus, too. I mean, I just would, okay? I'm not going to be out there talking about or advocating for any kind of censorship whatsoever, and I would throw their ass right under the bus. So we don't know who that is. Now, I also want to include the fact that he says, from what I've been told. And I find it very interesting indeed that Aaron Rodgers asked him, I heard my feed got cut during our segment yesterday. What happened? Because that's telling you right there, Aaron Rodgers does not want to be suppressed. He does not want to be censored. That he went out of his way, he heard about it, and he addressed it with Pat McAfee and asked him, what happened there with my feed from my segment? I think that's really interesting. Really interesting. It was a specific cable provider. Are we sure? Are we sure about that? And I think it's hilarious that that J.J. Watt actually brought it out. One provider, that's fake news. McAfee told Watt, don't listen to everything ML Football says on the internet. He's a damn good follow, actually. Can't do that. That was only one provider. But Aaron did text me. He was like, heard we got cut. Aggregators like ML Football and Dolph Keedman have faced increased scrutiny. Yeah, you've been they faced increased scrutiny. And by the way, both those guys are really good follows online. They get increased scrutiny because look, Dolph is over at Bro Bible. Okay, and he writes articles for Bro Bible, but you're seeing like this site, Mediaite, ESPN, those two entities take a lot of hate because it's the rise of more citizen journalism, people that are not afraid to give you some out-of-the-box takes. You know, journalists are concerned now because people are not going to get – we're not concerned if – they have the appropriate degree in journalism from somewhere because, frankly, in this day and time, it's going to make me more skeptical of stories now. I mean, that's just where we are. I mean, New York Times journalist, I'm going to be skeptical. I just am. So, yeah, both those guys, really good follows on the X. So, I think it's funny. McAfee actually come out and addressed it, but he didn't address it until J.J. Watt brought it up. Maybe they talked about the fact that they were going to have to bring it up. McAfee is usually, to his credit, pretty open about anything that happens. I would assume he would have addressed it at some point in his show, no matter what, whether J.J. Watt brought it up or not, but he is claiming that ESPN did not cut the feed. It was a cable provider. My goodness, I want to find out who said cable provider was it, because I'll be happy to throw them under the bus and roll a bus over them and then back the bus back up and drive back over them. And I mean, look, and I need said explanation from cable provider as to why the feed was cut. Was it technical difficulties? Is that what we're going to call it? I don't know, guys. You have to tell me what you think. I'm very skeptical. I am. Sorry. Look, Pat, that's the hand that ESPN has dealt many viewers like me. I'm going to be skeptical. It is what it is. Yeah, that's what ESPN has kind of done to itself over the last decade. Peace, I'm out.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.